etc. And this is our financial status. Basically, we can keep the balance, but it's still very hard. And we have a very high public certification. I should say it's my honor. The National Health Insurance certification rate in Taiwan is the most high public policy compared to all other policy in Taiwan. And this is a development story of HTA in Taiwan. At the early stage of national health insurance, we call it the conceptualized stage. We learn what is HTA. Copy from, then I will share with you. And then we have some planning about the national health insurance reform, because at the very early stage, Taiwanese, our people complain national health insurance very much, even our health providers. So we have a nationwide reform plan, and then we set the legalization, include the HTA to our national health insurance law, and after that we let the system regularization, and then we set up an organization named chapter to do the health technology assessment. And then from this year, we are going to set the independent administration institution. And who help us to do HTA? We name it CDE, Center for Drug Evaluation. So CDE is our good partner. So today we have another speaker, Grace Huang. He came from our CDE to share you more detail about our technology. It's me. 26 years ago, I organized a small team to visit Canada, Vancouver, British Columbia. So we learned that time in Canada how they do HTA. So we learn from Canada. We visit UBC. We use the Ministry of Canada government. So we learn very much from them. And if you can translate the Mandarin to Vietnam, you can know our proposal and the suggestion is to set our system about HTA. And then we have I say second G reform, and we have a very powerful document. And one of the documents, the number 3, is about the health resource allocation and the rational utilization. And this document, we think the HTA is a good methodology to do evidence-based decision making. So in Taiwan, it's a very early debate about should we have the system. And because I have said we learn many systems from Japan. Even now in Japan, they don't have a regular HTA system or HTA regulation. So somebody in Taiwan, they say, Japanese don't have this system. Why should we have the system? Because the HTA process is very costly. So should we have it? But at that moment, in 1999, we faced some problem about the Alzheimer's disease. The Aricept one go to Taiwan. Maybe currently you will know it's not very effective drug to treatment. And we also have some procedure for arthritis, just like an intra-articular injection. Maybe you will see it is not very costly. The cost is not very high. for these two treatments, but the population is very, very much. So it costs national health insurance a big burden. So we try to use these two items to implement HTA. And who should do it? After this, we went to Canada. They call us. You can cooperate UBC. You can cooperate with Virginia. You can cooperate medical college. So the first proposal is we should cooperate with medical college. But then in our Ministry of Health, we have two independent institutions. One is CDE. It's wrong type. CDI is wrong. Is wrong type. Sorry, CDE. And another independent organization in Taiwan is National Health Research Institution. It's also a very good research organization under our Ministry of Health. So we depend which one should do it. But our minister chose the CDE to do this. And another question is, how about the administration cost come from where? And it should take the governmental budget. In Taiwan, our system not like Korea or Germany. In Korea or Germany, their national health insurance cost came from premium. But in Taiwan, our administration costs come from government budget. So how to allocation the government budget is also a big issue. And then we decided to use tobacco health and welfare surcharge. So currently, the tobacco tax supports our health technology assessment. Then under the National Health Insurance Law, I have to say we have a global budget to control the total expenditure. And how do we conclude the global budget? It needs a negotiation mechanism. So we have a negotiation organization named NHIC to negotiate the agreement. But under the negotiation, it takes data to do the project because the global budget is a prospective system. So we should decide next year budget from this year. So this is a prospective system. So we need a very good data system to support it. And then under another national health insurance law, our fee schedule should be negotiation again. So in Taiwan, we use negotiation to decide the global budget. We use negotiation to decide the fee schedule. And under the Article 41, it's clear say the result of medical technology evaluation is mean health technology assessment. The same meaning in Taiwan should be made public before the drafting process begins. So in Taiwan, the government, the HTA result by government should be public. And then our Article 42 tell us before we drafting the medical service item over the drug listing, we should conduct medical technology evaluation. Is the same mean to health technology assessment, and we should consider human health, medical ethics, cost effectiveness of the treatment, and the finance impact of the insurance. So this is a major consider our HTA under our law. This is and maybe you will ask, yeah, here. This is the actual process for each new technology or each new service. There are proposal stage. and they are evaluation stage, they are discussion stage, and they are monitor post-marketing stage. And the discussion stage, I have say under our law, it should be negotiated. And at the proposal and the evaluation stage, the pharmaceutical provider can do some assessment, no problem, we accept it. And our department will ask CDE to help us to do HTA or finance impact for us. And the data will be discussed by our evaluation stage. Our evaluation stage include what we call an administrative review and expert meeting. Expert meeting come from different health or medical or pharmaceutical expert in Taiwan to discuss the new technology. And the administration and the administrative review do by my staff to check the data correct and the data comprehensive, etc. And after the market, we should monitor the utilization and the quality and something somebody don't like. So we have a HTR, Health Technology Review System. So basically, simply, I should say, under our national health insurance law, the regulation require us to do HTA. And then when we want to introduce new technology, we should preparation for new technology. We need the HTA to support us to do budget, to do budget setting, especially for high and significant budget impact for multi-indicator, for unclear indicator, etc. And for existing technology, between my department and the pharmaceutical provider, sometimes we have agreement that us should do HTA after maybe 2 years or 3 years. And sometimes we get a report about the adverse event or unexpected result. We also have to do HTA. So HTA can help us to making a budget. HTA can help us to reassessing the national health insurance coverage. And the HTA can help us to introduce new drug, new technology. And HTA can help us to do multiple risk sharing model, include the conditional listing, and we can modify the clinical condition when they want use national health insurance to cover the technology of a new drug. So sometimes in our condition, pay from national health insurance, not very fit to the license of the pharmaceutical. And then in 2024, we set a center for HTA named Chapter. Actually, I was the director of Chapter, but the photo without me. After 4 days, I take over the job. Yeah. And currently, we want to set an independent institution to do HTA only. Maybe you will ask, since you have a CDE or you have NHI, you have other independent organization can do HTA, but sometimes in Taiwan, somebody criticize us because CDE have the function to support the pharmaceutical provider quickly get the license from HTA. So they criticize them is not so fair for for the social. So somebody in Taiwan needed the independent HTA organization is very important. So since this year, we want to set an independent organization. And we want at an initial stage, it needs 110%, and then we need more about 300%. And we also have a challenge. I have said we are facing the old stage. Every day we meet new technology challenge. And then it is my emphasis on this. We need human resources to do it. Because on the area of health technology, we have the principle of avoidance of benefit. So we need a different group to do HTA. Maybe one for manufacturer, another for the government or social organization. So we need a double human resources. Even in Taiwan, we lack of it. And then it needed administration costs. Sometimes I have to say all administration costs came from government budget, come from tobacco tax. Everybody want to have a tobacco cost. And in practical, if you want to do a very good empirical study, just like a cost utility assessment, sometimes it needs 2 years or 3 years to do the research. So not only the finance, but also the time. So I think the administrative costs include human power, finance, and time minute. So the HTA is a very high cost methodology. So sometimes we want to reduce it. And then what is the HTA? Maybe you can say it's a decision supporting tool, but I should say it's a social communication tool, because HTA can simplify the very complicated science report to a brief report to public over to some expert. So this is a knowledge transformation. I say that in Taiwan, it's very hard to tell our people, you trust me, I'm the expert. People don't trust you. People trust what they want to know. So how to let the complicated scientific language to common language to make public accept your policy to introduce new technology is a major function of HTA, what I think. So it is a degree supporting tool, but it is I think it's a very important social communication tool. And then it's my recommendation. HTA is a kind of knowledge-based economy. Maybe we can learn from NICE in UK. Recently, as I know, because our national health insurance have a MOU with NICE. Recently, as I know, NICE is marketing to the world. So it's a very powerful knowledge-based economy. And I have many recommendations, but the major one I want to mention is HTA is a bridge. What do you think about bridge? Bridge can let it is easy to access different areas. But sometimes, especially in big city, you will see the bridge sometimes is a bottleneck of the communication. So you can let it very easy to communication, but you also can make it be a bottleneck, depend on the system design. So the bridge have different meaning. And then I want to share with you is how to build your core competence for implementation. In UK, they have a very good experience. They have a knowledge-based economy. They have a Cochrane database. Oh, it's very powerful, very popular in the world. In Taiwan, we have a very powerful data system. We have a national health insurance database to support us to do many research. And in your country, when you think about HTA, I recommend you should have our domain, your core competence. No matter data, no matter technology, no matter clinical trial, no matter people communication, etc. You can set the first priority that you want to set. Because I have said the cost for HTA is very high, so you should have your core competence. And then I will encourage you with you should have a good confidence to evidence-based methodology. Because in the medical area or health area, we always meet many different experts. They will say, I was a cardiac expert, I am the lung cancer expert. How can you share about, you just an epidemiologist or a reviewer, how do you say you are the expert? But you should trust the evidence methodology, because the evidence methodology is very popularized in the world. So I encourage you, you should have the confidence. And then, thank you, is my email. Any problem can contact with me. Thank you very much. Cảm ơn.
Xin được trân trọng cảm ơn thạc sĩ Y Minh Phang. Và báo cáo tiếp theo của hội nghị hôm nay, xin được trân trọng giới thiệu và mời lên sân khấu giáo sư Jing Yao Chen, trưởng khoa trưởng Y tế công cộng Đại học Phúc Đán, Thượng Hải, Trung Quốc, giám đốc phòng thí nghiệm trọng điểm quốc gia về HTA, giám đốc trung tâm hợp tác của WHO và HTA và quản lý. Và kính thưa quý vị, giáo sư Chen nhận bằng tiến sĩ quản lý tại Đại học Phúc Đán và từng là nghiên cứu tại UCLA. Ông hiện là giám đốc phòng thí nghiệm trọng điểm HTA của Ủy ban Y tế Quốc gia Trung Quốc, giám đốc trung tâm hợp tác WHO về HTA tại Thượng Hải và phó hiệu trưởng phụ trách hợp tác quốc tế của trường Y tế công cộng Đại học Phúc Đán. Với hơn 200 công trình khoa học, ông là thành viên nòng cốt xây dựng hướng dẫn HTA tại quốc gia Trung Quốc và từng là thành viên hội đồng quản trị HTA và chuyên gia tư vấn WHO về giá thuốc, gói quyền lợi y tế. Ông cũng tiên phong tổ chức diễn đàn HTA Trung Quốc và phát triển khoa học MOOC trong lĩnh vực này. Và ngay bây giờ xin mời hội nghị sẽ cùng theo dõi báo cáo áp dụng HTA và yêu cầu về hồ sơ, chất lượng bằng chứng áp dụng trong chi trả bảo hiểm y tế tại Trung Quốc, thực trạng áp dụng, thách thức và khuyến nghị cho Việt Nam. Và ngay bây giờ xin mời giáo sư Jing Yao Chen.
Okay, it's a great honor for me to be here and just introduce China's and HTA and the journey and in the last century. So I think the topic and just focusing implementation process, application of HTA and the document requirement, evidence, quality of health insurance in reimbursement in China. I think that's mainly and focus on how then the China and just included the innovative and the drug into the NRDL list and by the HTA and also those procedures. So I think that's just I hope and have some reference to Vietnam and the HTA development. It's so excited to know that Vietnam already and that's developing HTA quickly and this week and attend this meeting and very important. And next week and I also will host some Vietnamese delegation and visit Fudan University in Shanghai. Okay, I think and I would like to start it with the universal health coverage, and I think that's the WHO and there's just recommend and member country and to develop. I think in China, I think we already and finished completed the first step, but we still are in the journey and for the second and that's the mission and the third mission. I think and in China and all the population already coverage and by the medical insurance. insurance schemes, but mainly is two schemes. I will introduce you two schemes later on. But the other thing, and there is what kind of services and just included in the medical insurance benefit package, and how much and the percentage and the bill and paid by the medical insurance and the agency or by the patient themselves. So I think the services coverage and also how much and the percentage then paid by the patient is a challenge and for the China health system, because China is so big and so populous population, and also have the urban and the rural and the disparity. So how to deal with such kind of a challenging? I think that's the HTA, and just try to and maximize use the health resources and just meeting those health outcome and better. So that's, I think, the just rationale and for China and adapt and the HTA. So this slide show and in China, and we have two basic medical insurance schemes. And one is for the employee. We call the employee basic medical insurance. That's the that's the premium by the employer and also employee. So that's in the 2024. That's about 380 million in population. The other more big, that's the urban and the rural resident and the basic medical insurance. So that's cover about, that's the 947 million population and in the 2024. So mainly those two kind of, that's medical insurance. So because employee, that's and paid by employer, and employee premium is a little bit higher. But urban and rural resident, because they don't have the employer, so they should and out of pocket and pay part of the premium, but also the government subsidize supporting that's the resident medical insurance scheme. So this and that's the urban and the resident, rural resident and medical insurance is not so generous because the budget is very limited. So I think that's for those BMI, and we also use those national and the drug and the reimbursement list. So that's the list, and actually and the cover and by the two medical insurance. And besides those basic medical insurance, we also have supplementary medical insurance for those kind of catastrophic and diseases, or some government agencies, they have some special and supplementary medical insurance. So the second layer is supplementary medical insurance and pay the different kind of employer or government or other and payer. And the SafeNet is the medical assistant system that's also supporting the very poor population and try to just ensure the equity of the healthcare and also medical insurance. In China, and the HTA development, I think, started very early, but I will summarize, and maybe and the institutionalization of HTA is still and developing. So I just summarize and the HTA and development into three stages. The first stage, very early in 1990 to 2008. And that's an HTA and early stage and mainly and by the university. So like here, and I saw those kind of Panika in the university work with the government agency and host HTA. So at that time, I think that's also in some university established some HTA research center. So started in the university by the faculty, by the research work, and by the pilots and works, and try to just demonstrate what HTA can just play some role and for health system or medical insurance. So I think that's the first stage. So that the first HTA center actually in our Fudan University in 1994. The funding and the director is Professor Chen Jie, and my mentor, and that's established and the HTA Center. And also in our Fudan University, we also host a pharmacoeconomic research center in the early stage of 2000. I think both center work for the HTA development. Okay, the second stage, I think that's government and realize and the HTA and the utilization and the role and for the health system. In the 2007, and the Ministry of Health established, and that's the Division of Health Policy, Evaluation and Technology Assessment Decision under the China National Health Development Research Center. This center actually is just a government think tank and for the Ministry of Health. So that's just reflects and the government think about and the government try to use HTA and the inferences and the policy making and the base and those evidence and supporting the policy making. So that's the second stage. And the third stage is melee and milestone by that's the National Medical Insurance Authority and use the HTA and for those innovative drug and how to include it in the national reimbursement drug list. So that's I think is the just milestone applied to HTA evidence to update the pharmaceutical benefit package by the National Medical Insurance Authority. So at this stage, there are a lot of HTA agencies coming out. And Melee is a research and the institute and the university, even hospital, even some foundation and some company. And they also establish those kind of HTA agencies. So that's kind of an ecosystem is just favor those HTA and development. So for HTA utilization in China, so this in the Melee just summarize HTA utilizing different stage of life cycle by technology. So we can see and so different technology, pharmaceutical and the devices, and also that's the technical that stage and the pre-market and the market access, post-market reimbursement, and that's the coverage. Normal utilization management and also reassessment. So here I think just administrated and so those kind of market entry. So that's mainly based on the China, that's the FDA, but also that's China FDA also have the China CDE and affiliated and supporting those kind of market access. After market access, so reimbursement, I think, is the most very important thing. So that's the National Medical Insurance Authority just to try to evaluate those pharmaceuticals and try to evaluate their value, whether could include it in the drug list. So in here, and we evaluate economic evaluation, budget impact analysis, and those dossiers provided by the industry submitted to the Medical Insurance Authority in China. And those and their kind of document and also including those kind of modeling. So those kind of Excel-based model and how they to do those economic evaluation and how to do the budget impact analysis. Afterwards, I think that's the Ministry of Health also responsible for those kind of drugs and comprehensive and their management. Here we list and safety, effectiveness, cost effectiveness, innovation, appropriateness, and accessibility for those drugs and the use in the hospital and in the healthcare facility. And the final is the reassessment and just those drugs included in RDR, whether we need and a couple of years later, we will reassessment their effectiveness or cost effectiveness. So right now we partly started of reassessment for those and the innovative and drug and in the list. But in China, I think our HTA just and apply to the pharmaceutical, not apply to the medical devices. We have a lot of pilots try to use HTA on those medical devices. And some province like Shanghai, we also did some pilot on the medical devices. But that's, and I think challenging is just those kind of evidence is very limited. And sometimes very robust, and also a lot of uncertainty over there. So right now, and our government would like to think about how about the real world data, real world study can supplementary those kind of medical devices, use HTA and that strategy to do some evaluation. So that's and just give the just timeline and the National Payer Authority adapt adapted price negotiation for innovative medicine since then 2017. 2007, before that, and every 4 or 5 years, and we give some that's a list and updates. And after 2017, every year we updated the list and use HTA and also pharmacoeconomic, and that's a strategy. So every year we do those kind of dynamic and updates. So NRDL negotiation has become the main mechanism of national reimbursement for innovative drugs in China, and the National Payer Authority is very sensitive to the price of the that's NRDL included and the drugs. HTA has been increasing, adopted in coverage and access decision making. That's in China. I will show those kind of more detail about the NRDL list and also how and that's the mechanism under those kind of work. So in China, and we have the National Reimbursement Drug List. So that's for the BMI, and we include the A list and the B list. A-list is very normal, generic and drugs, and those is clinical necessary and widely used. And in China, we mainly use those group purchasing and try to control those A-list drugs, not by the HTA and the strategy. So B-list, so basically is relative high price drug or new drug with proven and clinical value. And the drug and the cost is partially considered in the reimbursement. A-list, 100% paid by the medical insurance. B-list should and medical insurance pay maybe 80%, and then the patient pay 20% for the B-list. So that's the NRDL and the list, A-list and the B-list. And in last year and after the NRDL updates, so in this list, we have about 3,200 drugs and into the list. So in the list, some is very old, some is brand new. Brand new after 2017, all goes through the HTA and the process and enter the NRDL list. So we have the circle, those the orange and color, and just light blue. That says just goes through the price negotiation. The other, we don't go through the NRDL, that's the price negotiation, because that's old and that's drugs. So that's a question to policymaker, whether those old drugs should have the HTA and the procedure to evaluate their effectiveness or cost effectiveness. Okay, so and after 2017, and so we have many years, and that's the NRDL updates. So just a 2-line and show and how many drugs and just apply. That's the just try to do the price negotiation, and then how much percentage that's successful, and so setting the price and included NRDL list. So that's the green line. So the green line and I think at the beginning about 60%, and last year 88%. So those kind of apply and to be the NRDL list at about last year 88% included. Finally included that's the list, but also have a very significant price cut. How much percentage price cut in China? So that's blue line show. Basics about 60% of price. So just a cut. And that's compared to the average price cut and for those negotiated and bidding those drugs. So I think in the beginning of those kind of a year, like 2019, and when we do some price negotiation and those pharmacoeconomic and evaluation, we just looking international countries like Korea price is very, and that's the low, and the China, Taiwan is also lower than in the China mainland. So we sometimes just pick up the like Korea's price, okay, already lower than China, that's price. But right now, in 2025, I think that's the bottom and the bottom price for those innovative drug maybe in China. So China, that's innovative and drug and price is very low. But that's also for medical insurance is a very good thing, and for the patient is maybe right now is also very good and their value. But long term, sustainable and think about that, and our government also think about how and just develop our industry and produce more innovative drugs. So that's also the challenging and for China. So that's, and I think, and just show the price cut and for the just negotiation. So that's a procedure, and that's an idea and the list. And the first step mainly is by the pharmaceutical and the pharmacy and the clinical and the doctor, but also a few of HTA and the pharmacoeconomic person. So that's, and go through those dossiers at first. In the second stage, and just the industry should provide the dossier and including the cost effectiveness model, also budget impact and analysis model, and to the government, to the medical insurance authority. Then the medical insurance authority just convene and about 50 to 60 in their HTA and their pharmacoeconomics person to critical review those dossiers and set the price. So that's, I think, in the just a very mechanism, and that's for China, how to just estimate those innovative drugs, and so that's for the price negotiation. So, and in this stage, and also we have the group and the HTA pharmacoeconomics expert groups. The other, and that's the medical insurance and expert group. Medical insurance groups, they use and the medical insurance authority data set to look at the different diseases, category, and how much budget, how much and the expenditure, those kind of things, how much money could be used, and then and also influences the price negotiation. So those procedures, because of timing, I don't want to go through more detail, but I'm be here, and I'm very happy to answer your question about how those kind of detail and China and to do those kind of NRDL and list and updates. So that's, and just a mechanism. We have the manufacturer application, then the expert appraisal, and then the price negotiation. That's just the government and the medical industry, and talk about those kind of price, and just set the negotiation, so included in the list. If and the industry don't accept the government and the medical insurance and the price, so maybe they can reject. So that's the price negotiation, the procedure. So we also have looking a lot of the factor. I don't want to go through more detail. Just example, in the 2019, and those and the PD-1 products, and in that year, 5 products and participant those and NRDL and the list. And so finally, in the Cindy back, and they're included in the NRDL list. So you can, the bottom of those and the picture, okay, so that's the total, the cost, and for different kind of PD-1 drugs. And this and bidding and the drugs, you can look at before is about 266,000 yuan. And after price negotiation, annual year, that's cost and just reduced to less than the 100,000 yuan. But the other is not included enter because they cannot and accept, and so low, and that's a price and for the medical insurance authority. So that's, I think, just give us the picture how the HTA and try to just approach those kind of innovative drugs, the price, and just have the price base and for the different stakeholder and have some negotiation. So that's, and just also the collaboration among the stakeholder in our dear list, and I lived, and so actually government and melee, and just focusing on appraisal, consultation, and also decision stage, and the HTA and the PE agency, I think, and we don't tend and involving too much in the appraisal and the consultation and the stage, and mainly for some research about the HTA and those kind of things. But individual expert, so have a very big role in the appraisal stage, and they try to just approach those kind of price base, and that's the government and convince those experts and work together and just try to finish this mission. And the pharmaceutical company, and they have some okay, to do some data and HTA and assessment, also consultation and with government and agency. So that's the different stakeholder in our list and updates. Okay, so the other example is also cancer immunotherapy. Because of timing, I don't just go through and quickly, and the risk sharing approach and not implemented in China. But maybe in this year or next year, and we might use those risk sharing approach, because last year and the government and just advocate and real world and evidence and the real world study. So that's give the chance and for those innovative drug, and then maybe the efficacy is not very concerned and is not very certainty, and maybe we can use the risk sharing mechanism and can include those drugs into the list and then look at their performance, their effectiveness or cost effectiveness. So that's, I think, for the risk sharing and the approach. Okay, the challenging, I think I just very quick, and I'm not sure whether relevant to Vietnam, so I just have this title. I think in China, we still in the lack of the policy mechanism. We don't have the act or regulation. We don't have formal, that's the HTA institutionalization like NICE and in China. And the other is insufficient HTA technical staff and expertise. But I think that in China, we still have a lot of university, have a lot of experts on health economics and for the pharmacy or for the epi, and still can just transfer to this area. And the other data availability and accessibility, and also the quality, and different hospitals, their quality, whether it's consistent. So that, I think, is still the challenging. And the final is how to just integrate the evidence into the decision-making, not just for the drug, but also medical devices, for the health services. I think that's also very important for China. So recommendation for China, I think strengthening national level institutionalization and building HTA capacity, collaboration, communication, and competency, that's development. Also enhance the data availability and the methodology adaptation, and also developing a comprehensive value assessment framework and for different diseases, for chronic diseases. But we also think about those kind of new challenges, also some those kind of new diseases or those kind of antibiotics, what kind of differences between different kind of modeling and also methodology. So that's also the challenging. So that's our paper about HTA and the journey in China, and just for your references. Okay, so that's just quickly and introduce the China HTA and the journey, and also the experiencing and in the NRDL list, and just share with you. And if you have any question or comment, and just I'm happy to answer and also respond. Thank you.
Xin được trân trọng cảm ơn giáo sư Jing Giao Trân. Và kính thưa quý vị đại biểu, tiếp theo hội nghị sẽ đến với phần trình bày của tiến sĩ Pritapon Kingkor, trưởng đơn vị nghiên cứu của HTA Thái Lan, thành viên nhóm nghiên cứu kinh tế y tế thuộc Tiểu ban Thuốc Quốc gia. Pritapon Kingkor là dược sĩ, chuyên gia kinh tế y tế được đào tạo chuyên sâu về đánh giá kinh tế y tế và HTA. Cô gia nhập Health Intervention and Technology Assessment Program Foundation từ năm 2007, hiện là trưởng đơn vị nghiên cứu và là thành viên hội đồng quản trị. Với nhiều năm kinh nghiệm HTA, cô có đóng góp quan trọng trong xây dựng gói quyền lợi y tế toàn dân và danh mục thuốc thiết yếu quốc gia Thái Lan, đồng thời là thành viên nhóm công tác kinh tế y tế. Và ngay bây giờ, tiến sĩ Pritapon Kingkor sẽ trình bày báo cáo với chủ đề đảm bảo nguồn kinh phí thực hiện HTA và quy định ứng dụng bằng chứng HTA trong xây dựng chính sách quyền lợi của người tham gia, khuyến nghị giải pháp cho Việt Nam. Và ngay bây giờ, xin được mời tiến sĩ Pritapon Kingkor.
Xin chào. Hello. Hi, everyone. I practiced that word so many times. I hope I get it right. Hi again. Thank you for your kind introduction, and thank you, the organizing member of this HTA conference. Thank you, Penica University, and also thank you, Ministry of Health, Vietnam, for inviting HTA to share our experience in this conference. So let me move on to my slides. So when the organizer invited HTA to speak about financing HTA, we were like, well, it's going to be so short because in Thailand, I give you a brief introduction that it's based on research. So basically, all of the HTA studies in Thailand, it was commissioned as a research. So we don't have annual government budgeting line to support our HTA in Thailand. So it's going to be short for y'all, but let me take you through the HTA system in Thailand and how can we live with just the research fund for the past 20 years. Okay, so this is me and the outline. So I'll give you a brief presentation because I'm in between you and the break. I understand we are a bit late already. So let me give you around like 10 minutes, 15 minutes to present on Thailand at a glance. Also, why HTA is important, experience from HiTap, and specific recommendation for Vietnamese colleague here. So Thailand, as you see, we reach universal health coverage since 2002. Our UHC index increased from 60 something. Right now, it's increased to 82 to cover almost 100% of people. So our current health expenditure is around 5, so it's been increasing. The last time that I prepared slide, it was like just 4% of our GDP. Right now, it's 5.35, so which is quite alarming. But happily, we still be able to fund for 3 main health insurance in Thailand. So we are not single payer like here or like in Taiwan. We similar to China, but we have another scheme called Civil Servant Medical Benefit Scheme. So basically, this one is a health benefit for civil servants and their families. So it's the original health benefit for the government officer. And then we expand to the second one, which is the Social Security Scheme, which cover those who work in the formal sector. And finally, in 2002, we expand to cover 100% of the Thai population. So those who are left from the 2 previous health insurance, anything else will be belong to universal health coverage. And right now, our pocket expenditure is less than 10%, meaning that all the healthcare spending, 90% are funded through public sector. Only less than 10% are off pocket. So I don't want to bore you. You all know why HTA is important, but I want to stress the point that we have a higher demand. So as you can see, it's increasing number of population, aging society, higher population having NCDs, cancer drugs, advanced technology, digital health technology. So everything is cost, you know. So if we stay the same, we wouldn't be able to afford everything for our public. So HTA, we believe in Thailand, we believe that HTA is a non-negotiable tool for creating and maintaining sustainable adequacy, fairness, and efficiency health system. Or Dr. Suwit often mention safe USC. Some of the people not, because we're trying to say that it's not just the health system, not just the availability, but it has to be fair. The country has to be able to support and afford in the long run as well. So let me share you our experience. I focus you on 5, but you're welcome to read more. Download the paper. Here's the 15 lessons from 15 years of HiTap. So let me go through each one. The first one, it's very important because like if HTA is a standalone research, nobody wants to know about it. Like who would want to read a research paper like 100 pages, right? It's kind of boring to normal people. But if you link the HTA to the decision-making process, then it will become more interesting because it will involve decision-making, who gets what, who lose what, right? So people will care more And if you link enough to the decision-making process, then it will be more transparent as well on why you decide on giving this drug or not giving this drug. So in Thailand, we use HTA to design for our benefit package, including new advanced technology as well. So we look at the safety, effectiveness, cost effectiveness, feasibility, budget impact, and also other information as well. So in Thai setting, HTA is not just cost effectiveness and budget impact, but we also look at other domains as well. And we have the formal process for medicines, vaccine, non-pharmaceutical and non-vaccine, which we call UCBP, Universal Coverage Benefit Package. But today I would like to focus, because we have a short time, on the pharmaceutical products. So in Thailand, the process is long and complex, like in any other country. But if you want to break down into steps, you can look at this as how you identify the topic in the first place. How would you select which drug to be evaluated? So we call topic identification and prioritization. Next is the assessment, is the HTA studies. Third is the appraisal. So it's another group of people who come and take a look at the HTA reports and then criticize, have comments, have a say about how good the HTA study are, and then allow this particular study to be used further in the decision-making process. We call this appraisal, and then decision-making. So here's the complex a link between each committees. So it starts with the public sector, private sector, NGO submit the drug. So in Thailand, we have around 3 years for each round of developing new reimbursement lists. So when you talk about the drug list in Thailand, this list is for reimbursement only. It's nothing to do about the market access. So market access will go through the FDA, similar process like other country. But if you want this drug to be paid for by the government, 100%. So we don't ask our patient to pay for this drug. So if it's in this list, we call reimbursement list, or NLEM for short, it will be provided for free from the public hospitals. So once the drug is submitted each round, we don't do HTA for 800 medicines. We only take care of a few. So how would you decide, right? So it needs to be effective first, safe first, and then you have a question whether it is cost effective, because it's so expensive that it would impact the budget of the health insurance. Then it will come to the health economic working groups. So I'm currently a part of the member. So each year we'll have submissions, and then we will commission a research team to conduct a research, and then they'll come back to us and then present the result, and then we do the quality checking before it can go through the decision-making process. So these are the appraisal process that we have in Thailand as well. And then we use the threshold. I'll talk about it more tomorrow. Of the threshold that we use is 160,000 baht per quality gain. So this threshold has been used for many years, and I will tell you a bit more tomorrow on the history of setting the threshold. So once the process is finished, usually the research will look at the price of the drug. So if it's not cost effective yet, we will do negotiation like in other country until you reach to the threshold price. And sometimes we even negotiate more to get the price that it is affordable. And also we use the central procurement process to even make it more efficient. So when you link the HTA to the process, second is you need to demonstrate that why HTA is so important in your country. So in Thailand, We don't have regular monitoring and evaluation process, sadly, but we are planning and trying very hard to do so. But throughout the years, we conduct several studies trying to identify the importance of HTA. So this is another study done by Dr. Viroj Tangcharan. So he looked at the cost saving from central negotiation and some of the drugs under the HTA process. We saw that around $6 million were saved during the process through negotiation and central procurement. So this is just a glimpse of example of how the country can save a lot of money by having HTA process and also the central procurement. And these are just the price negotiation. When you think about like how many percentage that we can reduce the price, it can go up to 80% or more. You can be surprised. In Thailand, once it is approved to be in the reimbursement list, the drug price will be available in the public. So this part is quite hard for the Thai society to negotiate with the industry because they know that other countries will use our price as a reference price. But here we go. We have around 13% reduction up until 82% reduction in the past before. And I also conduct another study to look at the impact of HTA. So we look at the previous HTA research and then do the simulation. So on the left is a hypothetical situation, first come, first serve. What if we don't have HTA? And to the right, what if we have HTA funding rule? We look at the cost effectiveness and budget impact analysis. We found that throughout the years, we save around 224 million Thai baht. So this is like a net monetary benefit that we have in Thailand. So in simple word, every 1 baht or every $1 that you spend, you gain around 8. So third, you need to build capacity because if you have money to fund HTA, without people, it's nothing. So you need to build the capacity through evidence generation and have the trust system. So in Thailand, we have a HTA process. It's not just a desk-based literature review, but it's engaged the stakeholder throughout the process. In the beginning, to guide the PICO, population intervention comparator, the outcomes, and also before they even come to the appraisal committee, they need to present again to the same stakeholder on the result that they found. And throughout the years, we also have built capacity among those who are interested in HTA. We conduct annual training for anyone, including the industry. So each year we lectured around like 400 people, and last year was 20th. So this year it will be 21st time that we conduct HTA capacity. So we build capacity for those who make the research, who produce the research. And also we build capacity through the engagement with stakeholders. When you go back 20 years ago, people don't know about HTA. Why are we doing this? Why do you care about cost effectiveness? So throughout the years, we've been engaging with many groups of stakeholders, policy makers, physicians, royal colleges, private sectors, civil society. So we're trying to let them understand why we're doing this and why it is benefit the society. After a few years, the challenge is less than before because we open them to criticize us during the stakeholder consultation meeting that I mentioned it before. So once the product, the HTA product is out, the industry often believe that this is a good quality and they are willing to reduce the price accordingly because they understand that we are done with no conflict of interest and it's for the public interest only. So here we not only build the capacity for the researcher, but also the community in Thailand. And also, HiTap is not the only HTA agency who do the research. So right now we have around 31 team to do the non-pharmaceutical HTA, 14 team to do the pharmaceutical HTA. So as you can see, we have almost over 200 people working on HTA at the moment. So as you can see, you are not alone. So don't try to do this on your own. Otherwise, it's going to be a slow process and not engaging. So right now we have a lot of university, especially in pharmacy school, conducting HTA in Thailand. And we know that starting to do HTA is hard for we call newbies. So for new researcher, new researcher who conduct the HTA. So what is cost utility analysis? Which clinical data set we should use? What is Markov model? How are we gonna reporting it? So in the beginnings, since we start, we create a common knowledge like costing database. We look at the unit costing for each services and we make it publicly available. Last 2 years, we initiate the utility database. So we gathered all the utility data sets that conduct in Thailand and collect within this database. So it's easier and cheaper for HTA researcher to go through all this vast amount of data, and then they can be able to conduct HTA faster. And also we have Gear. Gear is another website that in Thailand we create with support from IDSI, I believe. And the Gear is an online resource in English. You can welcome to browse around. So there are like question and answer type for new researcher who would want to conduct HTA. And also we have guidelines available in this website as well. Fifth, this is a unique case though for Thailand because our agency is not bound by the government. So even though we are located within the Ministry of Health, but our finance is from research grants. So whenever we say that this is a good thing as well, because when you have political power wants you to do certain thing and not do certain thing, they cannot say it. They cannot kick us out, hopefully. But as you can see, HiTap is quite an independent organization, no political pressure on the outcome of HTA. We have flexibility in human resource. In Thailand, government officer title is very limited. So if you see that in Thailand, some of the agency might be small because they have limited resource to hire human resource. But in HiTap, we first start with 5 people. Right now, we have around 120 people in our organization. And these are combined between the majority are full-time though, not part-time. And also we manage the conflict of interest. So those people who wants to work in HiTap needs to share, disclose the conflict of interest form so that we can see whether they have any conflict and we can assign to the right products, so not to have the conflict of interest for those. And we continue to expand the scope to be more strategic. We don't just do the traditional HTA where the product is already available in the market, but we also have the early HTA to look at the product that is still underdeveloped. How can we make them more cost effective so that they have a higher chance to be reimbursed in Thai benefit package? And also we look at the low value care in the society. You don't know how much money we can save when we identified and we can take those out from our current health system. For example, C-section in Thailand. C-section with no indication is considered low value care in Thailand, and we are trying to promote natural birth without using the C-section because some of the people in Thailand believe that if you were born exact date, exact time, you will have good fortune. But this is not good value for money. This is we call low value care. But anyway, just to let you know that to be able to have expand the scope, it gives you the freedom to have more strategic and also branch out other area as well. So let me quickly go through with the specific recommendation for Vietnam. So like I mentioned, start with why first. Why do you need HTA? Convince your society to do along. And then when I look at the finance model, in Thailand, it's quite easy. I can give you just a 5-minute presentation and say that, oh, in Thailand, we do research-based grants, but there are many different models to finance HTA. So first, you can have direct government annual line allocation from the treasury, or you can ask the private sector to help with the fee for analyzing the HTA, or you can have the mandate link percentage of health budget. So when the health budget increase, the budget for HTA will increase as well. And the fourth one is more like hybrid, like in HITAP. So we have a lot of funding support from also research organization, research funding agency in Thailand and elsewhere. Next is integrating the existing HTA into your policy decision process, like I mentioned before. The third is continue to develop. HTA is not a static process. It's we call life cycle HTA. So first you need to look at how can it improve the society by getting the right product. And then once you use that product, what else, that is useful or that is more cost-effective. So you need to disinvest throughout the process. And then continue to invest in capacity building. So in Thailand, we have capacity building recommendations. I would like to share you here. You can go through and read. It is very important not to just fund the HTA, but also build the capacity within the society. And these are my key takeaways. So first, acknowledge that HTA is a fiscal infrastructure. I would like to say fiscal infrastructure for creating and maintaining safe UHC. Continuous monitoring and evaluation is needed. And we need to engage all types of stakeholders throughout the process, learning from other good practices and failure through HTA networks. And this year, Taiwan is hosting the HTA Sharing. So please contact Grace if you want to know more about the conference. And lastly, continue to invest in capacity building of health economists, data scientists, policymakers to strengthen the HTA capability in your country. Thank you very much for your attention. Cảm ơn.
Xin được trân trọng cảm ơn tiến sĩ Pritapon Kingkor. Và kính thưa quý vị đại biểu, sau những nội dung vừa rồi thì ban tổ chức cũng xin được trân trọng kính mời quý vị. Chúng ta sẽ cùng nghỉ giải lao trong 15 phút và ban tổ chức cũng đã chuẩn bị tiệc trà ở bên ngoài sảnh trái của hội trường. Đây cũng là dịp để chúng ta cùng thư giãn, trao đổi và kết nối cùng nhau.
Chương trình sẽ được tiếp tục vào lúc 10 giờ 15 phút và ban tổ chức xin được trân trọng kính mời các quý vị đại biểu còn chưa thực hiện đăng ký tại bàn đăng ký sẽ di chuyển ra bàn check-in tại phía bên trái của hội trường để đăng ký cùng ban tổ chức ạ. Xin trân trọng cảm ơn. Enjoy your coffee.